Hey everyone, Zeker03 here. I understand that the title of this video is a little jarring, but please, if you will, allow me to explain myself. I recently went back and watched Noel Miller's series on YouTube called Steamy Tweets, and in the fourth Steamy Tweets video, an audio came up that is personally one of my all-time favorites. It was the notorious squirtin and fartin audio, which if you don't know what that audio is, well basically it's some dude who sent a woman over, I believe, Facebook Messenger, it looks like Facebook, audio about him describing himself fantasizing, making that pussy squirt and fart. That's about all you need to know. But essentially, towards the end of the video, Noel came across a beat that somebody made with the audio from the message that guy sent. And this was possibly one of the greatest beats I've ever heard. So, like, without further ado, let me just play a couple clips demonstrating exactly what I'm talking about.
Got that dookie hole, grip it and hug it, grip it and hug it, grip it and hug it, grip it and hug it. Got that dookie hole, grip and fart, grip and fart, grip and fart, grip and fart.
That shit slaps way harder than any remix or type beat or anything out there that I've ever heard. So I had to find it. I heard it. I needed to hear the whole thing. Unfortunately, my search efforts were entirely in vain. I could not find this remix anywhere. I looked it up on YouTube and I got this British dude. It wasn't the right one. It was interesting though. I looked up his Twitter handle, which gives me the wrong profile. I looked up his name and it just doesn't exist. And then I looked up squirtin and fartin, which is a mistake. We won't talk about what I saw. This user was nowhere to be found. I was just devastated. I needed to hear the full version of that and I never would. So I came up with the incredible idea that I could attempt to recreate the beat myself. What a horrible fucking idea. So long story short, I set out to do it myself with no music making experience whatsoever and a dream. Thought long and hard about how I was going to get this remix done, but to no avail really. Couldn't find anything that was of any help, so after 2 long minutes of Google searches, I took a break, like any hardworking man in our country. Made some lunch, which as you can see is a couple of freshly made cheese quesadillas. Oh, those shits were so good. As I was sitting there eating my freshly made quesadillas, I thought to myself, how the fuck am I gonna do this? My only thought and my only source to getting this done was my friend, my homie, my G, Robert. Robert went off to school for music and he actually had access to a program called FL Studio. So I figured if anyone is gonna help me make this beat, it's Robert. So I called him up, got him into a call, and he crash coursed me through the program essentially. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Robert. Alright, I require your assistance because I need to make a trap remix, but
okay.
I don't know how to do that.
Trap remix of what?
Here, you know what? I'll just send you the video.
Let's see. Oh boy. I could sample the squirtin' fartin' part.
No,
I don't know if I can make a whole trap remix including the whole thing. I know that, but
yeah, no.
it samples squirtin' fart.
I guess I'm more trying to figure out a way to do it myself.
Oh, okay.
Because like I don't know how to like get all the sound effects and whatnot, you know? Like all the specific things that I would need.
Software to make music?
No, I do not. I suppose I need that too. Do you have any suggestions?
FL Studio has that free trial, and it's not really a trial. You get it. It's free, but you can't open the projects you saved until you actually buy the software.
Right.
So if you want to make something quick,
It probably wouldn't be that long, yeah.
If you stream FL Studio, I'll take you through it, show you how you work with it.
That would be lovely.
It's got its own sounds in it already.
I suppose I should reveal the whole point of this. Let me stream some YouTube, all right? So I went back and watched this video because I watched this a long time ago and I was thinking about it, right? And so at some point in this video, the squirtin and fartin audio came up, but there was a reply to the tweet that was a trap remix of it, and I can't find this anywhere. So my plan is to literally just like recreate it to the best of my ability. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason that I've called you here today.
So that's the objective.
That is our end goal.
And there's no link to it in the YouTube video?
No, I looked up the Twitter handle. I looked up the name. None of it exists. Like if I look up Zay Banks, for example, on Twitter, nothing really comes up. So I can't find the original tweet.
Yeah, the account doesn't exist. That's weird.
It literally, like, I don't know where the hell it went. It probably rebranded, if I had to imagine. It's been 3 years. Now, to sample the actual, like, squirtin and fartin audio, do I just gotta, like, record that? Slap it in there?
You don't gotta record it. You can download an MP3 of it and, like, just drag that into the timeline of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Should we do that now, then, while this is doing its thing?
Yeah, you should probably get the MP3 of squirtin and fartin.
Yeah, of course. This video is restricted. Oh, god
or
damn
illegal.
it.
Oh,
It's literally age restricted. Fuck. Okay. Let's try and find one that isn't. I'm sure it exists. Alright, yeah. This one's not age restricted. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Nicki Minaj.
There it is. Alright. Epic sauce. That worked perfectly. Broski. What's some totally like skater dude shit? Catch you later, home. This moment right here was one of the most devastating moments in my YouTube career. In the middle of me trying to find a decent MP3 converter software to, you know, get the video off YouTube, I ended up typing with the dash key. And for those of you who don't follow my streams, I have a mute and unmute hotkey for, you know, streaming and such. And those keys are minus for mute and plus for unmute. And so as I was typing a message to one of my friends over Discord, I hit the dash key and never unmuted my microphone. So the next hour and a half of that footage was completely silent. Or at least I was. And that, as you could imagine, sucked. So I essentially had to make do with what I had, and the plan I came up with was to just make a montage out of the other portion of the video and just keep some funky highlights like these, for example.
Got that dookie hole, grip it and hug it, grip it and hug it, grip it and hug it, grip it and hug it.
I spent a very long time matching up the BPM, making sure it all worked, and then I went to drag the audio into my software, but it didn't work. It was just like it just didn't work, and I was like, well, why the hell isn't it working? And I asked my friend Robert, to which he said you need the paid version in order to actually put audio into the program, to which I said, alright, how much is it? And he said $100 to $200. As you can imagine, I am not going to pay $100 to $200 to put audio into a timeline on a program. So I had to come up with a new plan. And so the plan I came up with was basically just make the beat, wrap it up, and then export it over to my editing software. And so that's what I did. But then, of course, the hard part came about, which was not only sampling everything I wanted to use for audio, but also matching up all the speeds so that it made an actually coherent beat. I spent about half an hour getting everything arranged and then trying to put it into a beat, and it was horrifically out of sync, and I said, well, that's not good. And I eventually came up with a solution. So basically, I made it so that each sample would play twice for each beat cycle, and then I would match it up that way. That's basically that's a terrible way of explaining it, but that's basically how I did it. And so 4 hour story short, I made the beat. and it's not perfect. There's definitely some parts where it's pretty out of sync, but honestly, I'm pretty proud with how it turned out, considering that if I could even use the software I was using previously, this would have turned out fine. But, well, you know, unfortunately that would have been like $200 that I would never get back just to make one song and then never use the program again. So as you could probably imagine, that's just not worth it, and I basically just, you know, dealt with the hand I was dealt. And honestly, I don't think it turned out too bad. I honestly am okay with the finished product. I'm gonna upload the actual music video separately as an unlisted video, which you have access to in the description. I'll leave a link there, because in all honesty, I don't know. I don't really want that being on my main channel as like a video that I made, you know, because it really kind of isn't. It was more just made as like a bit for this video, so oh well. But either way, here is the final product.
What's up, Nicki Minaj? Sitting here fantasizing about laying you on your stomach and tuning that big old red ass up and spreading and folding the big old red ass cheeks and long digging that pussy till it's squirting and farting, 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 squirting and farting. Got that dookie hole, gripping and hugging, 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 gripping and hugging. Got that dookie hole, 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 got that dookie hole. Grip and fart, 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 grip and fart. Got that dookie hole, gripping and hugging, 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 gripping and hugging. Got that dookie hole, gripping and farting, 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 gripping and farting. Every stroke I'm making it fart, 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 making it fart. You moan and moan and moan.
Why the fuck did I do this? I just like, I should have just had Robert make the beat, and then he could have put it in there, and then he could have exported the project, and then sent it to me, and then I could have, it would have been so much easier because he could have put the audio in, and it would have matched up better, and, oh, Jesus. Either way, I did it. I did what I set out to do. Is it nearly as good as the original? Not really.
Got that dookie hole, got that dookie hole, got that dookie hole, got that dookie hole.